This is our newest SOAP Note template, the clinical SOAP Note, and what people really like about it is that it is point and click, so there's very little typing involved. We start off with what's the primary reason for visit. In my example, it's going to be relieve pain. Brings up some new questions. Have we treated you for this in the past? We're going to say yes. And finally, when was the last treatment for this issue? I know the client was in on June 24th here. So by selecting the last treatment date, what we're doing is we're creating a chain of SOAP notes all around one particular reason for visit. So in the future, when you look back on the client's file and you're looking at a specific issue, you can see the SOAP notes that are related to just that issue. You also have the option here to view past notes or copy this note from June 24th. We're going to go to the next section here, which is the description of pain. So again, very little typing. We're just going to click where the problems are. So we're going to say we have some lower back pain. Intensity of a pain is 6. When it's at its worst, it goes up to an 8. When it's at its best, maybe it drops all the way down to a 3. We have how does the pain feel? So we're talking about the sensation here. We'll go with dull. And you can actually select off multiple sensations here. And which of these best describes the time pattern of your pain? So let's go with constant. So we're getting a lot of information from the client here at this point. Next, we move on to the onset of pain. So approximately when did the pain start? So we're going to choose a year and a month. And the day is actually optional. Maybe I'll leave it blank in this case. Do you remember a specific incident that caused this pain? So you have several options here, but we also have other at the bottom if you want to specify something that is not on the list. So I can go with motor vehicle accident. Was the onset of pain sudden or gradual? We'll choose sudden. And have you seen any other healthcare practitioners about this issue? We can say, okay, this client has seen their physician prior to seeing me. Finally, in the subjective area, we have the aggravating and relieving factors. So the pain or discomfort is brought on or made worse by. And again, we have several options here, including an other option at the bottom if it was something different. So we can just select one off here. We have pain or discomfort feels better with. Again, a few options, including the other as well. And finally, does this pain prevent you from participating in any of these activities? Again, with another other option there if they wanted to say something else. So that's it for the subjective area. If there's anything that didn't really fit the mold of the template, we have this practitioner comments area at the end, and you can add in any of your own comments at this point. Next, you can move to the objective section of the note. And we're going to start by saying that we've obtained consent. And then what you're going to fill in will depend on what you've actually done during the treatment. So we start with a posture assessment. So all you have to do is just click off the options here. We have range of motion. So you're going to select a specific area. And then below, we see that we have the different range of motion options, and you're just going to check off the boxes here. You can also indicate if there was any pain when you were doing the testing. Next up, we have palpation. So what you can do is you can choose the areas that you have palpated. And our measures are below. So here we start with the mid-back, and you're going to just click your options. So for the tension, the texture, tenderness, and the temperature, and you're going to repeat the same for the lower back there as well. And you can see that for all these options, there's an add comment area where you can add any additional information if you wanted to add it in. We also have neurological and orthopedic testing. So we have a whole bunch of the tests that are listed in here. So you're going to choose your area, and then we have different tests that are available. So we can select a test, and we're going to choose the left result and the right result, and we can add in additional tests here. We're going to move on to the treatment. So We can see that we have the prone position here. We have select all if you wanted to select all of the areas. And again, we're going to go below here and we're going to choose which treatment we did on which areas. So I'm going to keep mine fairly general and just choose clinical massage therapy. And I'm going to apply that to all of the body parts that are selected. I'm doing a full body treatment. You can also repeat this for when the client was in supine or side lying position or seated as well. Next is the assessment. So after the treatment, we're going to revisit our measurements to see if there's been any improvement. So maybe the intensity of the pain has dropped to a 5, but the sensation is still the same. I believe we selected dull and cold. And what we're doing is we're automatically picking up the measurements that you did during the objective section so that you can remeasure them here. So in this case, we did do a posture assessment. We did range of motion as well. Now we're just automatically picking up the right shoulder again because we know that was done in the objective section. And same with palpation. We have the mid back and the lower back, and we can reassess by selecting the different options here. And finally, we have the plan section. So first we start with any additional treatments that we recommend. So we can select a particular service. We can say, okay, I believe you're going to need 3 additional treatments and you should be coming in once per week, or you have other options here as well. The other section we have is self-care. So if there are any self-care exercises that you would recommend to the client, you can fill that in here. You also have the option of uploading any attachments, and the magic of this SOAP note comes in the Finalize Note. So what we will do is we will take all of the point and click responses that you've done, and we're going to transform that into a finalized SOAP note. So we are taking your responses, and you can see that we're converting them here to sentences and paragraphs, which is great for handing off to a physician or another referring provider. And you can see that everything's filled in that we have that we've clicked. Now, we didn't totally do a complete note in this example, but you can imagine everything being filled in when you have your completed note. If you want to print the note, we have the print button here, which is located on the Finalize Note page. And once you're done, you can click Save.